get started, guys. Um, so we're going to be talking today about skilling up your career. Okay, I know a lot of you guys are in high school, but this is a good opportunity to start thinking about these things, especially if you're pursuing a career in tech. All right, so I'll be just taking you to through how to make yourself more marketable in the whole tech profession. So you have usually have two ways you can go. You can get certifications or you can get degrees. So that's what I'm kind of going to talk about today and kind of show you which are the better options or what's going to make you more marketable in the future. Okay. So intro. Let's do an intro to me. So my name's Calvin Jones. I graduated from Butler in 2014. Worked at Salesforce. I founded CoBlack Indie, founded Tech UK, and also I founded my for-profit University Inspired. Currently, I have over four certifications in Salesforce, including Marketing Cloud, Salesforce Service Cloud, and Salesforce Core. What I like to do for fun, I like to play Xbox. Here's my gamer tag. So if you guys want to jot that down, I just bought the new Call of Duty, and I've been getting a little bit better. You know, it's a new feeling, but it's still the same Call of Duty. So I'd love to have you guys on there. Also, I play Halo Infinite and also Overwatch 2 mostly. So yeah, just downloaded that too. So there's a lot of gaming going on, especially with upcoming holidays coming up. Also, I like to watch boxing. I also used to box, so I still kind of do boxing workouts and spending time with my family. I have a 4-year-old daughter named Zora, and I have a wife named Shelby. So we're always doing something fun. All right. So IT professionals can further their skills by going through a degree program, while certifications are cost effective. And also, it's a shorter time you have to spend inside that whole technical program. I would say I have both. I have a degree from Butler and also have a couple of Salesforce certifications. And both has helped me in numerous ways. One has helped me actually land a job, and the other one has helped me kind of increase my knowledge base and kind of get my foot in the door. All right, so I'm gonna take you down this little rabbit hole. All right, well, so IT certifications versus degrees. So what's the difference? So with a degree, you have to spend a lot of time and a lot of money going to your degree program. And trust me, I went to Butler. It was $50,000 a year, so it was worth it. Don't get me wrong, but it was very expensive. Well, with the certifications, they're usually shorter and they cost less. So usually a certification program is costing you between $2,000 and $14,000, depending on what cert you're trying to get. All right. And I did have a list of certs here, but I don't know what happened to them. So like I said, I have four Salesforce certifications, but the hot certs right now are AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure. And those are cloud-based platforms that everybody is transitioning to. So a lot of organizations that had servers on-prem are transferring their data and their everything to a cloud database. So that's why those are high, and they'll be high in the future just because you can be more agile with the cloud. You can have more computing power in the cloud, things like that. All right. Do we have any? I'm gonna stop right there. Do we have any questions yet? All right. No questions. Oh, you have AWS, and I'll go ahead and type it in chat. You have AWS. You have Azure, and you have Google Cloud. All right. So look at those, and those are good starting points to just kind of get into the certification realm. And then you have Salesforce too. So I work on all Salesforce platforms, and all the major corporations use Salesforce. So you'll run into it eventually. But you have also ServiceNow. You have things like for that middleware, you have things like Snowflake certifications. If you like to use huge data sets and like processing data sets into different platforms. So we have a plethora of certs that's going to get you inside the door. All right. All right. IT certification. So I listed out some of these comparisons for IT certification versus careers. Versus degrees. So with certification, time commitment is usually 0 to 6 months. You usually get out quick. It's most cost-effective way to skill up. They do expire after a couple of years, so you're continuously learning and you're continuously taking those tests, and they open up the door for those junior positions. So just like I said, those certifications open up the door so you can get your foot inside there. And then certifications are a good way to acquire new skills. So if you want to skill up, if you currently have a degree, or if you're looking to get a degree and you want to kind of branch off to other areas, certifications will help you kind of mold that branch into what you want to do. All right. And then as far as degrees, you have that huge time commitment, um, to obtain a degree, and it's also most expensive. And then also they don't expire. College degrees never expire. You'll always have that with you, and the degrees open up senior level positions. I'm not saying that you can't get senior level positions with certifications, but it's going to take you a longer time to get in that position versus somebody with a degree. All right, and I'll kind of capitalize on that a little bit later. All right. So let's talk about time commitment. So it takes 4 years to usually earn a bachelor's, sometimes five, because people like to take their time sometimes. So if you're working full time, it may not be possible to go to a degree program. So those certifications may intrigue you a little bit more. Through certificate, they are less time. While with certifications are less time, while degree programs and courseworks for your chosen are chosen for your field of study. However, it's a lot of fluff inside those degree programs. So you have things like English, you have things like algebra, you have things like what is it called, anthropology and GHS classes that really don't, I guess, contribute to your technical knowledge, but it does make you a more well-rounded person. So I went to a liberal arts school, and I'm happy that I did, just because it taught me how to think. So a lot of people go through these degree programs or technical programs, and they don't know how to really formulate solutions or really convey what they're trying to speak of, just because they never really had that experience, writing an essay, or kind of understanding literature, or what is it called? What's the word I'm looking for? Um, Comprehending what's going on inside a conversation or inside documentation. And you kind of see that those people who did go through those degree programs, they have they have a better understanding of those social cues, and also understanding what needs to be done inside of a solution to make it more effective, if that makes sense. All right. So if you take 4 classes, you're going to spend at least 12 hours in a classroom each week. Plus, you have homework, then you have study lab, then you have study, and you have labs. And if you want a master program, if you want to go into a master degree, it's going to take you 2 more years to get that. And honestly, I always tell people it's kind of a waste of time, and especially in tech, to get a master's degree, because nobody really cares about that. With tech, it's more so what you can do. If you have a master's degree, you'll probably go more in that leadership or that C-level suite direction, which is okay. But for me, I don't like managing people. I kind of like coding, and I just like getting. I like building solutions. So the manager, I guess, branch or pathway, it really doesn't interest me, because I don't want to manage people. I just want to do my work, and I want to go home. If that makes sense. All right. So another thing, here's the annual cost of college. And I went to Butler, like I said, it was $50,000 a year. And you kind of see that with the 37. But then you have that the public school cost, which is for in-state, it's around $10,000. For out of state, you're going up to $30,000, $30,000. So if you're looking at a 4-year school, you're spending either 25,000 to 45,000 just for the degree. All right. And you're usually taking out loans, so you have to pay that back over time. And then with 2-year degrees, that's going to be a little bit less, but you're gonna kind of you're not going to be in a position where you can bargain a lot just because you have a 2-year degree. So if you're going to college, go all the way in and get that 4-year degree. All right. And then you have private schools like Butler, which is 37,000 per semester. And then you have 18, and then 2-year college 17, and then a 2-year for profit is 15. So as you can see with this graph, college is expensive. It's very expensive. And for certification programs, you can go on a certification program, or a lot of these programs or a lot of these platforms have education built within. So if you want to do AWS, they have a whole learning central system where you can go in and you can do basically labs, and they have videos, so you can kind of get that certification yourself without paying that for that certification program. All right, if that makes sense. All right, this is a good segue because it's kind of talking about cost and affordability. So, like I said, that 1 4 year college is close to $10,000, and then 1 4 year for a private institution is close to 13. All right, so we're gonna pay a lot of money to get that piece of paper. However, certifications they're considerably lower, and they're gonna run you, like I said, between $2,000 to $14,000. Well, I'm sorry. Yep, that's for the course. But however, a certification itself, you still have to pay for the test. So that's going to run anywhere between $100 to $2,000. So I know my Salesforce certifications were $200 every time you take. Well, for the first time you take it. For retakes, they're $100. So if you fail a lot, if you fail a lot, you're gonna spend a lot of money. So keep that in mind too. So Cisco, they're a vendor that offers a lot of certifications. So at their entry certification is $150, and then for the expertise like a CCNA, you're close to like 15,000. So you can kind of see as you get more experience, those higher level certifications cost a little bit more. All right. So, but there is no all in one IT certifications. There are different platforms or different pathways. So you have cloud, you have networking, you have I guess platform specific certifications, which help you out a lot. Like I said, it helps you get that foot into the door. Because if you come in not knowing anything, they have to kind of kind of train you up versus if you have that certification, they understand you have at least a point of knowledge. Oh, they have the certification, so I know they understand what list views are. I know they understand, how to log in to AWS because you have the certification. So we don't have to worry about those things. If you have a certification, it kind of lets them know your starting point. All right, all right. All right. When is an IT certification a better offer? And I guess I did list the certifications. However, I put it on the wrong slide. I'll take it for that. So you have these things like IT fundamentals by CompTIA. You have Google system administration. You have infrastructure. You have introduction to containers, Kubernetes, intro to DevOps, and then, like I said, that certification Kubernetes, and then Salesforce 2 Admin 201. All right. So if you're seeking a junior level position and you want to get in the door quickly, a certification will be your best option. So those people who want to work in a tech field while you're in college, you should probably start looking at those certifications right now. As far as obtaining those certifications, it's going to help you, especially while you're in college and you go to an employer to get your internship. That certification will definitely set you apart. All right. Because a lot of people aren't thinking about those things. All right. Search, they also are a good thing to acquire in demand skills. So if you're at a position and they have a new system coming on, they're gonna actually get that certification. So, but if you already have that, you already step ahead. And it helps you kind of demonstrate that knowledge, at least of that platform, where you can kind of grow from that. All right. All right. So I'm gonna stop right here. Do you have any questions so far, guys? Oh, we have one. I'm pretty decent in Call of Duty. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Do you have any questions? No. All right. So I'm going to keep going, guys. All right. So when is a degree better option? If you have the time and resources to spare, you should go the degree route. Like I said, I have a degree, and I am very blessed that I do have a degree because it helped me get a job very quickly. Just because, I went to Butler, and then it was a great timing in, I guess, the ecosystem for me to come in. And I started as a tier two support agent. So I wasn't even getting as a tier two support agent, you don't need a degree. However, having that degree kind of put me in the front of the line over other people that didn't. And also support, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you want to work for an IT company, support is the best way to get inside because from support, you can learn their internal systems, and then also you can get those certifications, and it's going to help your manager know that what path you want to go down, and it's going to let them know that you're ambitious and you take initiative too. So that's kind of what I did. So I started in tier two support. I got my Salesforce admin certification. And before you know it, I started doing consulting. Now I have my own business consulting just from the start of that whole certification. All right, all right, all right. Certification, certificates versus certificate programs. All right, they sound similar, but they're totally two different things. Kind of like what I said at the beginning. You have certifications that you can take from yourself, just take by yourself, where you can go on AWS and go through those lessons. You can go on Google and go through their Google education classes, or you can actually put yourself in a program where a teacher will kind of teach you this and hold your hand throughout the time. All right.
Are you prepared for this?
All right. So I had a little video kind of starting for talking about CCNA. Does anybody know what CCNA stand for, or what is CCNA? All right. Well, if you don't know, CCNA is a certification for network engineers, specifically Cisco network engineers. And Cisco is all around the world. Cisco is the reason we have internet between our continents because they have that big underwater uh, Ethernet core going from continent to continent. So with certificate, it results from assessments, the tests you take. Usually it's a proctor test. So usually for my Salesforce test, I can take it online or I can go into Ivy Tech and make and actually take that test there. Typically means studying all on your own and paying to sit for an exam. They also require professional experience to kind of build and update those skills. And I'm going to talk about them as we go on. They expire and require you to update that knowledge. And third parties typically award certificates. So third parties like AWS, Salesforce, Azure, well, Microsoft, and Google. All right. Certificate programs that offer more structured education. So if you're a person that kind of needs that structure, you probably should go into a certificate program. If you can't kind of self motivate yourself, I would prefer you get into that certificate program because it puts you in a place where you have to learn and you have somebody kind of guiding you through the material. All right. The programs take anywhere from a few months to a few years to complete. They typically are more expensive, and they both and they are good for both experienced and professionals and newcomers in the field. So if you're in a certificate program, you're going to see a mix of people inside there. You're going to see people transitioning to different career fields. You're going to see newbies, and you're also going to see experienced people that may just want to learn a different sector of technology. And then education institutions usually gives out these certificates. So you have things like Ivy Tech. Butler has a Salesforce class. What is another one? IEP? I'm pretty sure has some certification classes. So uh, you should definitely look into that if you kind of need that more of structure, but you don't need it at all. All right. All right. So anybody can get a degree or a certificate in something. Big deal. A piece of paper from a university somewhere doesn't define a person. It won't tell you who I am. All right. That reside in some of you? And it basically means any time, I mean, either way, if you get a degree or if you get your certificate, it still does not tell the employer about yourself. All right. One thing is going to say that this person can stick with a plan for 4 years. This person can study, and this person can pass certification. They can pass tests, which is okay. But it doesn't tell me if you have soft skills. It doesn't tell me how you deal with pressure. It doesn't tell me kind of those I guess those human elements for towards you. All right. And one way to do that is to get both, like me. So you can get certifications and you get degrees to optimize your opportunity in tech, but experience will set you apart. And a lot of you like, how do I get experience? I don't even have a job. Well, I'll tell you, the way you get experience is just by doing. You think about an idea and say, hey, I'm gonna try to code this idea and I'm gonna try to build this out inside this system. And then you're gonna run into problems. And then based off those problems you run into, you have speaking points when somebody asks you. So when somebody asks you, have you ever built a database in, let's say, AWS? Oh, you know what? I did try to build a database and I ran into these issues. So from there, they know, oh, this person can problem solve. He does projects by himself, so he's very self motivated. All right. Or here's another idea. Um, everybody always tells you, set your price, and basically people have to pay you like for what you cost, or set your price, but nobody ever tells you how much work they did for free. And it's okay to do free work, because free work helps you understand your skill sets and helps you understand how to price yourself. And it also helps you kind of understand a workflow of tech, or some of those asks that most what people want. So you can get experience, but sometimes it's not going to be paid. Sometimes it's going to be things that you may just research online and say, hey, this would be a good project. And then sometimes you may not finish your project. The thing is, you want experience is kind of is vague. Experience doesn't mean getting a job. Experience means how much time did they spend problem solving on this platform to get their tech skills up. Okay. All right. So that's the end. I'm gonna leave what, probably 8 minutes. Where I kind of finished early. I was supposed to finish probably 6 more minutes, but I'm gonna leave it open. Do you guys have any questions? No questions. Oh, no questions. Wow. When do you realize you enjoy coding, and how did you learn? Um, Honestly, I like problem solving. It's not really well, coding's frustrating. JavaScript is frustrating, but I like the feeling of trying to figure out something. Now, I've been stuck on problems, I would say, for like days, weeks at a time, and I'll just think like, did I try this? Did I try this? Google stuff, copy and paste a couple things, still doesn't work. But before you know it, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, you know what? I know what I'm doing wrong. And then the next day you go ahead and do it and you solve it. Like, it's the best feeling in the world. So it's not really the act of coding. I think I like the reward of problem solving, and coding gives me that. What's the hardest problem I had to solve? Um, Man, it's been so many. Oh, mobile responsive emails. That's very hard, just because email clients render code differently. So if the email comes in HTML, uh, Google doesn't the Google email client doesn't process it the same as Outlook's email client. So you have to kind of code your email so it's looking for both. And it took me a while. I mean, I'm still learning, but it took me a while to figure out what elements I need to put in there. When to replace an image with a mobile image, things like that. So I would say mobile responsive emails was my hardest problem I had to solve. How much free work did I do? Man, a lot. Man, it was just I just asked people. Usually people have problems. So like, hey, I think I can solve that, and then you go in and you solve it for them. I would say there's a couple, like even with my first Salesforce project, somebody bought Salesforce and I just got my admin cert. So I went in and tried to help them out. I messed up a lot, but I learned a lot by doing that. It's you're not going to win all your battles, but if as long as you learn from your failures, you're doing what you're supposed to do. So that's the thing with work. You want to learn from that. Are there any good part-time small gigs that you would think that you did your resume and tech careers? I would say honestly, it depends what your skill sets are. Like, are you coding HTML, or are you doing object-oriented coding? So if you're doing HTML, a lot of people don't want custom websites just because it takes a lot to maintain. However, you can make a landing page for them. You can upload that landing page inside their website, so it does things. So it puts information in a database, or maybe it sends an email based off the information they put. So it really just depends on your skill set. So because with object oriented jobs, you can go on Upwork and things like that to get jobs, but those are going to be like short, and you have a lot of competition in that. Now with like HTML things and platforms, you're gonna get a little bit more work for those part time spots. just because a lot of people need help, but they may not need a full time person. So I would say get a certification and then kind of position yourself so you're open to that part time work, and just ask around. Ask your local church, what are they doing? How are they using technology? Do they have a website? Do they need another page to promote things? Or I mean, ask your closest relatives. If your family has um, a business, do they have a website? Do they have a CRM to maintain their customers? Can they send emails out to their customers? Like, think about things like that. I know we have more questions. No, I must not been that exciting then, which is okay. How did I get into coding? Honestly, I always wanted to get into tech. When I graduated Butler with an STS degree, and that's more like soft sciences. But I always did some coding, and then once I worked at Salesforce, it amplified my hunger to learn more. So I would say I learned most of it at Salesforce. Working personal projects, no. I have a lot of clients though, so I work on their projects. So one just messaged me right now to finish out a landing page. So I usually have around, I would say, 6 or 7 clients that I work with every, I would say, month. What I personally recommend, I'm a Salesforce guy, but I feel like Salesforce is kind of drying up. Honestly, I would do AWS. I would do like cloud based things. I would do AWS or Google Cloud or all three. Because one thing you're gonna notice with if you get your AWS certification, all the other cloud platforms do the same thing. All other cloud platforms have Kubernetes and things like that. Um, so yeah, so I would say AWS, do a cloud certification. Mm. And what is the average pay per client? Huh. It's kind of hard because different ones have different budgets. So I would say my best client, they pay me 125 an hour. Then my second one is like 100. Then like the least I get paid is $80 an hour. And what do I do in my free time? I work a lot, honestly. I work in my free time. What do you do? I do marketing cloud. So you know how you guys get all those emails from your schools and Under Armour and Xbox. So I work on a platform that sends those out. So the clients usually buy that platform, and I'll stand it up for them. So give them an IP address, give them certain things that's going to allow them to send out emails. It depends what they want. You know, I get done with stuff pretty fast, so I may build something and sit on it for a while. So, I would say, I would say anywhere between a month or two. And however, have I ever worked for a big company such as Under Armour? I mean, I work for Salesforce. Um, I work for LabCorp. Oh, State Farm. I did a project for them. I may be doing a project for Elf Cosmetics, you know, like ELF Cosmetics. So they just hit me up today. I may do something for them. Um, what's another? I'm missing a couple, man. I know I am. Live Nation. People who like send out those concert who host those concerts and things. Um, man, I've had too many clients, man, to even start think about that. All right, what is example of coding you have used in a project? JavaScript. I mostly do JavaScript. JavaScript is kind of because it's web based and Salesforce is built on JavaScript, so I deal a lot with JavaScript, which doesn't make any sense. So I would suggest don't do JavaScript. No, Oh no, oh no, Java, no, no, I'm okay with that. I know Python, Java, I mean JavaScript, SQL. That's a database language, and I mean I've done Java before, but I did it in college. I wouldn't be comfortable with somebody that here's a Java project. I wouldn't be comfortable doing it, but I mean I can figure it out. And what a good platform for someone to start learning how to code. Um, you got Free Code Camp. You got Code Academy. Just honestly start with those, and then once your skill set gets better, do you just have to start doing your own projects because that's you're gonna learn the most by encountering problems. If you don't encounter problems, you're not gonna really learn. You're gonna keep doing the same thing over and over. So man, be ambitious and try to do something different. So start off with those platforms, Code Camp, Code Academy, and then start doing your own projects pretty fast. Rust. I heard about Rust. I haven't looked too much into it. Do you think it's self-taught? Because I'm telling you, if you go to college and you go to these coding classes, when you get a job, you're still not going to know what to do. Self-taught people are just more. They can figure it out a lot better than college students. I would take a self-coder. I would take a self-taught person over somebody that has a college degree. Because college degrees are they're going to be hesitant because they never really been taught how to build. They've been taught theory, but they haven't been taught put okay if you want to make an object, you do X, Y, and Z. If you want to make a list or you can make a database, do X, Y, and Z. I'm always busy. Well, sometimes like I'm more of on the front end. I have an offshore team that takes care of a lot of it, but I still bust out code a lot just because I'll just get it done myself usually. Oh no, no game stuff. Games are hard. You have to know so many disciplines to build games. And my favorite project, man, I would say the one I'm doing right now. I'm building out a nonprofit Salesforce instance, and it's just difficult because there's a lot of their business process is so different than how Salesforce can handle it. So we had to make some adjustments, but it's looking great right now. So I'm really excited about how this will come about. Am I happy with work life balance? I mean, yeah, I work. I can work anywhere. I can work from different states. I can work from the beach if I wanted to. So, but I'm always working because I kind of that's me. I kind of like being busy all the time. But I can always take my computer, go on the beach. I can go to the pool. I can go, yeah, to a restaurant and go eat and work. So I mean, work is life to me.